Yeah. All right, we talking about grading the off season, the whole off season. But the key word is current, because the off season is not over. It's a lot that can happen, but we go talk about it from where we are right now, and y'all go participate. It's Freestyle Sunday, so this show is not gonna hit unless y'all got opinions. So we always say your voice matter. We go talk about it, and we go grade this off season up to now. We gonna do this again too, because we gotta do this when the off season is officially over, but it's not over yet. But we gonna just talk about it from where we are right now. As always, y'all give me a second. I'm setting up stuff on the back end. Be right back. Yeah. All right. So we still got the countdown, but hold on. All right. Had to fix that sound a little bit. Heard a little cracking. All right. What's up, everybody? Obviously, we got some good football to talk about, because we gonna be talking about grading this off season. All right. You know, that's what we doing. We grading this off season. We gonna look at it, and it's gonna be all of us together. This is a good exercise that we go through together, because this is an important exercise. So we go look at it from multiple directions. Y'all give me a second. Let me get everybody kind of feeding into the show real quick. And once I know y'all in the show, then we go start. My boy Star Breeze in the house. What's up, Star? Yeah, we still got some work to do, Star. I have not forgot. I had somebody that passed, and you know, that threw me off on my schedule. But I'm gonna get with you, Star. Thanks for being patient and you helping me out. Yeah, and see, the funeral is tomorrow, so tomorrow won't be good, but we'll be able to do it later on this week for sure, Star. So Dale Prime, he said, "What's up, boss? Salute to the chat." He always say that.
Yoga fire.
And he threw up the yoga flames. I always appreciate that, Dale Prime. This gonna be a good show, man. Y'all make sure y'all participate. And then Samuel said, "I watched Boston versus the Doodoo Birds for laughs." I know, man. I know, man. It's, you know, the sad part is they're serious. That's the saddest part about those Philly doodoo guys. They dead serious. So, but when they want that smoke, I give it to them, you know, every time. And all right, so my boy JJ, he said, "What up?" Hold on quick. He said, "What up, fam? These Philly doodoo birds getting punched drunk on that." Yup. Yeah. And I don't even think they punch drunk. I think they just saving face, and they just holding on to prayers and straws. That's what they doing to me. And then Star Breezy say, "Prayers, man. Thank you, bro." And then Star, man, this is what you call teamwork, because he gonna help me tighten up Boss Cowboy Sports even more. He said, "Yeah, I'll make time for you whenever, bro." So that's the teamwork we have with Boss Cowboy Sports, where different content people like Star because he got his own page as well. Y'all make sure y'all go support him on Facebook. That's where he does his thing. But he like, boss, I can help you on some things, and he's gonna do that, and just to make it better. And I appreciate that stuff. And then Coach Marv in the building. What's up, Coach? He said, what's up, boss? Let's do midterm. Yeah, that's what we getting ready to do. So we gonna talk about this. We gonna open up the phone lines, and y'all know, like how I see you, Craig in the building. Hold down Facebook for me, Craig. He said the Eagles are forgetting who their quarterback is. Exactly. Yeah, and it's one of them things where they know, but this is gonna be a test for Hurts, because they gave him, he has no excuses, right? They used to say that about Dak. Yeah, now he has no excuses because they whipping him up big time. And then I appreciate everybody who throwing up the prayers. So it's a close friend of mine. He had a lot to do with my Christian foundation, and he had a lot to do with just showing me how to be authentically myself and of the faith. And when certain people pass, it's big, because he was a real dude. So, but but we gonna talk about football, and we gonna let tomorrow be tomorrow. But getting into the content, just looking at as we always do, looking at the 4 different parts of our offseason. If I left something off, let me know. All right. So obviously there's the draft, right? So there's the draft. Then there's trades, right? So we go grade each part. Then it's our own signings. Then we go also put this in the offseason distractions. You know what I mean? We go grade distractions, right? So we go look at all of it. If I left off something, let me know. And then I add it because y'all voice matter. My boss say Deshaun Taylor, he say, all love, boss, man. Appreciate it, big dog. Appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people passing it, like it's a lot of people, man. It's kind of getting weird, man. Say, man, but yeah, listen. Yeah, my boy say, boss destroyed the Philly trolls on their own podcast. Right, yeah. And it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again because they do want that smoke. They keep begging for it, so I'm going to give it to them. So if y'all wonder what he's talking about, let me go to my page real quick. So if you go look at the channel, it's some videos that I got where I went head up with the Philly guys. So it's the one that says Boss Cowboy Thanos versus 4 Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all go give that one a look. Also, the OC did some videos. I want y'all to check those out too, where he gave his thoughts on Will McClay's draft, as well as his draft grade and player predictions. So he did some real good job on those videos. If y'all didn't check that out, they real short, but they love it, man. I see y'all love that, man. So we gonna have to repeat that. If y'all loving the fights, we gonna bring it to you. But listen, I don't really like the fight, though. I'm going to be honest with y'all, man. I just kind of matched their energy. If they want to talk football, I would have kept it real, sensible, all about football. But they really wanted to try to act like they wanted that.
Yoga fire!
And, no, sir. See, he put up right now, but he comes out when provoked. You know what I mean? So. But we put up Thanos. He's chilling. Thanos boss, slide boss, he's chilling. You know what I mean? But he will come out if need be. Yeah, straight up. All right, but getting into the content, let me see. Yeah, which one y'all want to start with? All right, because it's up to y'all. We can go. I'm going to be looking at the chat too. Y'all go tell me what y'all want to start with. So we can go with grading the draft. We can talk about that. We could talk about the trades. We could talk about the signings, and then we could talk about the distractions. Where y'all want to start? All right, I'm gonna wait, and then as I'm waiting, I'm gonna throw on some music. Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna throw some music real quick while I'm waiting. Here we go. Oh no, not that. Here we go. All right. So start with distractions. God dog. Yeah. All right, let's start with distractions. my boy Dale Prop say, listen, he say start with distractions. He said, all right. So with the distractions, man, he said, let's get this out the way. And Antoine said the same thing. The distractions was epic. It was epic. It was horrible. So if we go grade everyone, we go grade it. And I'm going to say this was one of the worst years in terms of distractions ever. Ever. So the distractions started from the very top. All right. So first, it started with Jerry, right? Calling out Mike McCarthy. That's where it started. And not only that, the distractions with Amari Cooper and all the leaks that was coming from the front office, calling them lazy. You know, and then not only that, after they fumbled the way that they fumbled, in terms of distractions on that, it kept getting worse. Then you start getting distractions about secret kids and stuff. And then you also had the cheerleading distraction. It was nonstop. So if we grade distractions and self-inflicted distractions, and I think the worst one in terms of football was Jerry Jones undressing Mike McCarthy to the point Mike McCarthy had to respond. Do y'all remember that? To the Rich Eisen show? And he had to basically say, I've never seen anything like this. And it's to the point to where even when you watch them in the press conferences, everybody looks awkward. And my boy True Vibe say, dang, forgot about the cheerleaders. Yeah. So in terms of distractions, oh my God, my boy say A+ with laughing. So since we doing grades, yes. Oh, thank you, Trey G. See, this is why I love it. Y'all help the show. He said, would you consider the Gregory situation a distraction? Absolutely. Ooh, you almost pulled out Thanos, boss, with that one. Man, this was one of the worst years.
Yoga fire, yoga flame.
So I know the grading scale is A through F, right? But my question is, can we exceed that? Because I want to go to Z. Z might be too harsh. I get him a Y. A W. You know what I mean? Because the distractions is what had us honestly losing fans going into the draft. We was getting a lot of calls from all the podcast community was getting calls left and yeah. Daisy Clark, see, y'all got a grade. Daisy said F+. You being too nice with that plus, Daisy. We need to take that on down to minus.
Yoga fire.
Yeah.
Yoga flame.
Yeah, they yeah. So in terms of the grades on distractions, man, I got to get him a W. A W. A real grade, straight up F. I mean flunked. Flunked. It was almost unredeemable. And it might be unredeemable. Because how do you reattach nuts once they've been cut off? Once Jerry Jones went to Dan Quinn and was offering him the job, that was again unsullying. If you don't know what that is, that's basically cutting off his sacks. So how do you reattach manhood when it's been taken? And I know they set up, on the draft day and day 3 of the draft and everybody, but it looks so awkward because it's almost unredeemable. It is. It's almost unredeemable. Like it's certain things you can't come back from. There's a certain thing as just going too far, you know? And I have to ask myself, did Jerry go too far? Did he? You know, is it, you know, putting Mike McCarthy in a lame duck situation publicly, not privately, publicly? Can you pull out of that? I don't know. I'm just being honest. See, because I'm going to give y'all this measure Kool-Aid always, man, and I just don't know. So, because y'all also, we all been in school. How easy is it to pull out of an F? So give me y'all grades on distractions. I want to see y'all grades since y'all coming in. So I'm giving them an F. I'm giving them straight up F on distractions. Then I'm going to take a call. Let me get my call system ready. Yeah. Then I'm going to take some calls. But yeah, I'm giving them an F. All right. And then I want to see what y'all go do. All right, here we go. I don't see no grade. So Daisy, she had a grade. I want to see y'all grade. Trey G with the fat F. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely an F on distractions. Philly. Philly. Hold on real quick, man. These boys crazy, man. My boy Philly say B-. Look at this one. Antoine said, boss, you can't unhit an ugly girl, so nah. Lynn, I see you. So I'm seeing these grades come in. I like it. So we got B-, we got an F, we got a C. I want to see why you said C. Let me see. He said, what up, Boss Cowboy, my guy? Boss Cowboy B+. Can you turn it into an A? Distractions, you give him a B, girl? Man, you generous. Oh, man, I wish you was my teacher. God, dog. But you nice. El Fuzzo say F-. Yeah, I really want to say W. I really want to say Z. And we didn't even talk about Boss Man. Yeah, exactly, Craig. Yeah, we need to go to summer school, man. We flunk. For real. On distraction, straight flunk. And then James, I'm gonna call you James the Killer. He say, interesting, Philly, that you on your own team cannot do the job of making you proud. Interesting. Ooh, hit him. That's why I call you Killer, James. And Dale Prime, I'm with you. Z-, bruh. This was a Z in distraction. All right, I'm gonna take some calls, man. We got the call lines open. And we gonna go through each one. So, hey, unless y'all got to go to work tomorrow, kick your feet up, man. We ain't rushing. We go talk about this all season. So far, we definitely gave distractions an F. All right. So that's the first topic of the off season that we grading, because we grading the off season. All right, we got a call. Boss Cowboy Sports.
What up, Boss Cowboy?
What's up? Now, what you gave him a C?
I gave them a B+, brother.
Okay, talk to us.
I say that is because I've seen a lot worse crap than what they experienced this off season. Not to say that all that stuff that we've heard in the off season is, you should turn a blind eye to it. But at the same time, there's all things worse in life to deal with what we've been dealing with, and not to see that things will get better. It just depends on whether the team can come together and get things rolling as they need to and supposed to, and get healthy and stay healthy and get rolling and get these players playing the way they need to. So that's why I say
basically you gave them a curve. You said grading on the curve. You said I'm giving them a B because it can be worse.
You're right.
All right. Okay.
Right. But That's not saying to make light of anything, because, you know, the stuff that's been going on is what it is. Like I tell everybody, we don't control the team. We don't own the team. So all we can do is support it, and hopefully they quit the knuckleheadedness and this, that, and the other, you know?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Because we
I
can't
think we had
control
a decent draft. I mean, the first
we gonna talk about that.
Were fired, you know?
We gonna talk about that.
You know, he gets back, and he can play this year. It might be even better than what we think. But if he don't play this year, we're just going to have to rock with what we got, you know?
Right. And we going to talk about that because right now that's why I'm taking it one at a time. We got distractions up first, all right? But then we can take the draft. We can be a totally different grade.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and when I'm grading distractions, the reason why I'm so hard on them because I just want to hold them accountable. I want my voice to echo. And I agree with you. I'm not saying don't hold them accountable. Hold them accountable, but at the same time, when it comes time to play football, and you put that helmet on, you put them pads on, and you get ready to play a team that embarrassed you last year, you better come out with some nastiness. You better come out with some passion like me. You better be ready to take somebody's head off. You better be able to. You better want to run through several walls. You better be ready to get down like James Brown and put some points on them boys and hurt their quarterback. That's what I want to see. I want to see some sacks getting all in your face, kicking the crap out of you, embarrassing you on the football field, you know, like the 49ers did us. And then that way when the teams play us, they'll be like, boy, we don't even want to step on the field with that defense. We're embarrassed. We might get our asses kicked, you know? Yeah. Real quick, going back to distractions. Somebody
got
a question for you, Dar.
Yeah.
Somebody got a question for you. Somebody said, could it be worse? Secret babies and being linked to a murder?
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, but I'm mad at your grade. Your voice matter. You know what I mean? And I just know you are optimist and nothing wrong with that. You somebody that's a glass half full person, never change. You know what I mean? You never change because you need both sides of the coin.
What I'm saying is that their life throws curves at you all the time, and you're gonna see stuff that is not right, and you have to learn from the lessons that you learn from. But at the same time, it's how you respond. It's how you talk to people. It's how you love people. It's how you respect one another. It's how you interact with people on a daily basis. Because how do you want to be remembered? You want to be remembered as a person who learns from their mistakes and can admit their mistakes and do better from it and go on and move on and become a better person because of it. And when that has to do with football too, when you do something, own up to it. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, you take your lumps, and when it comes time, if you get to play football again, do it to the best of your ability. Give all the passion that you have, and do it with everything you have, and do it for the team, not just for the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Ooh, B
that's
Bird.
What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I'm with you. B Bird. Quote of the day. I'm gonna come back to that. That is B Bird. B Bird said, "We have been conditioned as fans to expect a certain amount of distractions as Cowboy fans." Ooh, I gotta come back to that. That's too heavy to touch right now. But Dara, let me take one more call, then I'm gonna hit my next points.
All right, I love you, boss, and I just wanted to give you some love and let you think what I think. And I think we're going to have a really good record this year. I think we're going to do well. I think we're going to have a 14-3 record. You know, I think we're going to really surprise some teams. I think we're going to do better than last year. Instead of getting knocked out in the first round playoffs, we're going to probably make it to the NFC Championship and win it. But that has to do with the team playing together as one, staying healthy, doing the things that the coaches
Durr, let me
teach
take the
them to
next
do,
call,
and
Durr.
following the
Durr,
plan.
let me take the next call.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, bye.
All right. All right, so because I got to get to this other content. I ain't mean to cut him off. Durr's a good guy. I just want to get to the other call so I can get to the content real quick, because it'll take too long to get to that content if we stay on too long. But anyway, we got the phone lines open. If y'all don't call right now, I'm going to get back into the content and we go keep grading. And I want to go back to what B. Bird was saying, because I mean, that was fire. We got the phone lines open. If y'all need the number, here it is. But I got to go back to B. Bird's comment, man. That was, my God, B. Bird. God, dog. I got to talk about that, man. That might be a video in itself. But thank you, Durham, man. Good call as always. We got the call lines open. Y'all ain't calling in. So I'm going to talk about what B. Bird had to say. All right, because y'all taking too long. Y'all feeling shy tonight. It's Sunday. I understand. No days off for me, though. Ain't taking no days off. Let me go back to this B. Bird comment. And I appreciate you saying hit that like button, man. Y'all go ahead and hit them likes, y'all. Let me take a quick break and then hit them likes. You know what I mean? Yeah. Take a quick pause. I know we got enough people in here to make a difference to the likes. Let's go ahead and start it off with hitting that like. I know we getting that content, but let's pay them bills. You pay them bills with a free like. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and hit that. And if you ain't subscribed yet, subscribe. But going to B. Bird's comment, because we still dealing with the distractions, is I do think we have been, he said, what's the topic about? So what we talking about, Mac Jones, since you came in a little bit late, no problem, big dog. I'll catch you up in a second. Grading the current Dallas Cowboys offseason. That's what we doing right now. We grading it. So we talking about each part. Drafts, trades, signings, and distractions. So we was on distractions. All right. And I want to talk about what B. Bird just laid out there, man. B. Bird just laid out a heavy turd. He just boo-booed on the world with his facts. Because I know he right on this. He said, we've been conditioned as fans to expect a certain amount of distractions as Cowboy fans. You 100% right. Because it's certain things, that's not normal, but it's normal here. It's normal here. So, like, for instance, you don't see other teams when it come down to contract negotiations being as public and as dirty to try to devalue their own guys. We stand alone in that. Nobody goes in the public like the Dallas Cowboys. We stand alone, and it's normal. B. Bird is right. See, if we was on other teams and we saw how they treated their quarterback when it was time for them to get paid, like Carr with the Raiders, who just signed his deal, was there a peep at all when it was time for him to get re-signed? No. But in Dallas, it's the opposite. It's constant leaks about a player that's trying to get paid. So, B. Bird, you perfectly transitioned us into trades. So now let's talk these trades, right? Since we're grading the offseason. And it goes into the distractions on what we lost, right? So, one trade opportunity that we had that a lot of people not talking about in enough detail, people talking about it, but they're not talking about it in enough detail, is Amari. All right. So it's enough even this year to know we got fleeced on the Amari deal. All right. To B. Bird's point. See, we want to talk so much that we let everybody know our moves to the point we only got a fit for Amari. And when you look around the league and you see what other teams got for their receivers first round, I'm talking about this year. Yeah, we got a freaking fit for the guy that saved the 2018 season. A fit. Yeah. And it was because we was talking. We want to be right so bad in the public. Right so bad that we was, and they care so much about what the fan base think, because we all knew they was going to likely get rid of him. But we knew that because of how they kept leaking through Bobby Belt. Bobby Belt was basically the hit man. He was the voice of front office. He was telling them everything. Well, they had a problem with how he finished the season. They had a problem with on that last drive. And then you got Brian Brothers, through his sources and people he talking to. Well, it's some people in the building that feel like he's always banged up. And it's like, you killed his whole value to the market the way you was talking. And then the worst thing that they did, the craziest, the dumbest thing that they did was they said they looking to trade Amari. And if they can't trade him, they go just have to let him go so they can save on the cap. Yeah, and that's why we only got a fit. And I always use the same example. It's like selling a car, right? And so you're trying to sell a car, and while you're trying to sell this car, you say, well, I'm trying to sell this car, but if you don't buy it right now, I'm gonna just go take it to the junkyard and get rid of it for free. So what you telling that person is offer anything because they go take it because they trying to get rid of it. But the only reason the whole world knew they was trying to get rid of it is because we kept leaking it. So, and it's not only that trade that we squandered. We squandered Lael. Jesus Christ. My God, you talking about somebody that can play guard and tackle? A 2-for-1 special?
Yoga fire.
A 2-for-1 special, and we didn't even get a bag of potato chips. My boy Tariq. I hope you wrong on this, dog, but let me read this comment. He said, it's called self-sabotage. They don't want to win this season. I don't think it's that, bro. I don't think it's that. I think you went a little bit too deep. But I can see why you say that, though. Because it seems Tariq so dumb for football. But see, it's an area where it's not dumb. And Star Breezy said it earlier. This is where they're not dumb. It's the massive amount of publicity money that they make. All right, we got a call. I'm going to take a call. BossCowboySports.
Hey, boss, what's going on? This is B-Bird, man.
What's up, B? You see I took your call? I just felt it was you.
Yeah. What's going on with you, man? You been doing all right?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there, brother.
Oh, okay. So I'm just on this subject you're talking about. The thing is that, no other front office operates this way as far as trying to win in the court of public opinion, which is what they're doing. Because Think about this.
Yep.
Another GM, just to say the GM for the Cleveland Browns, it is incumbent upon him to get the most he can for his draft picks. Mm-hmm. For his players, draft pick wise or whatever, players in kind. So for Amari Cooper, he to try to get everything he could for him. And for La'el Collins, he to try to get everything he could for him too, because again, I always beat this drum, because their job depends on their performance. And them getting something for this draft, for the players, is going to help the performance. So they're in this thing, man. They're trying to, get the best deals they can. Stephen Jones doesn't care about that because his job doesn't depend on his performance. He's just trying to win the court of public opinion, man. Yep. And that's why it made no sense. But if you think about it in the sense of the fact that he can't lose his job, then it makes more sense, right?
Yep. Totally. 100% sense. And then you always talk about the fact that he doesn't have a sense of urgency because he can't lose his job either. So he can make 2023, 2024 budget decisions that other GMs can't or won't even think about. Other GMs have that sense of urgency, and I know you said this a lot, but I'm just going to echo it, It's a blessing and a curse, because I do like that he can think long term, but I sometimes hate that not thinking long terms takes away his, to me, killer instinct to know when to put them chips all in. I think this was a year to put those chips in.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, because I think what you had was a good team, but it needed some other ingredients, maybe some leadership.
Yeah.
And just a little bit more toughness or whatever. I think you could have got that and added it to it. I think what you did, if you look at the first 3 draft picks we had, we really just replenished what we lost. You know what I'm saying? We ended up getting a guard, and we lost a guard. We ended up getting a wide receiver. We lost a wide receiver. We ended up getting a pass rushing specialist. We lost that. So, and those 3 guys that we got in the draft are not going to be better than the 3 guys that we lost. Right. Because they don't have the experience yet. Now, I'm not saying that they're not going to be better in years to come. I'm saying next year they won't be better. And so I have to say that we took a step back in that category. And this was an all-in season. You went 12-5, man. And, we did lose the first round, but just stack on top of that. Add on to that. Don't take away from it and go back. But that's that long-term thinking that he has, right? And so that's what gets us, because as Cowboy fans, we're urgent. We want to win now, but they don't. They kind of want to, look after 2024, 25, and all that kind of stuff. Now, I want them to be concentrated on 2022, man.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And B-Bird, I promise you last week I was to do this show, man. So it's just appropriate that you call.
Now, I got a little bone to pick with you. You mind?
Yeah, come on.
So I've listened to the Final Word, correct? That's the one with you and Big Game James and Law and all y'all.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I was listening to it. I think it was the day after, and Big Game James brought up something. I think all y'all was kind of against him on it.
Yeah.
But I have to say this, man, and I was really on his side.
On Dak?
On Dak, yeah. Yeah. Because what it is, man, when we're troubleshooting things, any problem, you never want to take something as a given. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at that and see, okay, I know that, what Dak did the first 7 games of the year, I think was outstanding. We have that Dak. He's a top, 5 or 6 quarterback. I was concerned about the second half of the year. I was concerned about the decision-making in the zone. When teams were able to go zone on us and not go man-to-man. Man-to-man is an easier concept to throw against. Mm-hmm. And so the zone was a little bit more difficult, and I thought that gave him some issues. And it's just like he had some uncertainty in his throws. He just wasn't confident. All he did is look confident to me.
Right.
And so I think Big Game James was correct in my thought process on challenging Dak and saying he does need to play better. I've been seeing some things come out that had him ranked in the 3rd tier, and this is just some rankings or whatever. Recently, just came out, and I couldn't disagree with that after what I saw. So I just wanted to say that, I don't want to look. I like Dak. I wasn't a Dak fan early on. 2019, I think I swapped over when he started this flinging the ball all around. It was some areas before that I felt like he shied away from throwing deep middle of the field. He threw to the tight end and the slot back more. He's comfortable with those throws, but to the outside, he didn't throw to the in deep middle. And I think teams knew that. But I think in 19, he swapped over, was able to do that and open up his game. The first 6 games of last year, man, I felt like, man, we got a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the league. But then, with that zone, when people start playing more zone, I just felt like he took a major step back, man. And so I think that he was part of the issue with the offense. And I just hope it could be solved, this year. And so I'm going to get off the phone, man, I guess, and just let you talk about that a little bit. Because I do, I think I just don't want to, just think it's a given. Oh, that's great. He's a given. No, he's great. I didn't see greatness with him at the end of the year.
Yeah. I'll talk about it. And this is the cool thing, B, before you go. Like, it's okay that sometimes we have differences of opinion. And it's the fact that we can handle it like men. So, and B Bird always does. So let me address my thoughts on that. So with Dak, and then I'm gonna get back to the offseason grade. So with Dak, where I disagree with Big Game James is he was saying basically Dak, we need him to be able to put, these games on his back, And my thing is this: first of all, that's a standard that no other quarterback is held to and no other quarterback accomplishes. So if that was the case, Aaron Rodgers did not put that team on his back in the snow versus San Fran. He had a bad game. But you don't hear his fans saying that about him over that one game, do you? No. You also saw Mahomes, who really should have won against the Bengals, had that game wrapped up.
Yoga fire!
And all of a sudden, that boy started throwing them ducks. You don't hear his fans saying anything about, because to me, they know how to departmentalize a bad game from a bad career or bad quarterback. And I think a lot of our fans, in just my opinion, we take bad moments and we make them the total of the person. And to me, if you look at the career of Dak is a top 5 quarterback career-wise. Matter of fact, his passing rating up into 2021 in the fourth quarter and overtime, when the game was tied or they was behind, he had a passing rating of 140. That's close to perfect when the game is on the line and it's tied. You can't close out better than that. You can't be better than that for a career. You can't. So I'm not tripping, especially on the front end of the year. He was an MVP candidate, the top one. So we talking about our guy. The first 8 games was considered the best person in the whole league, the best quarterback. So, and then y'all also know, everybody know where I stand on this system. Everybody know that I'm totally against the system, and I truly know that the system was figured out. I know it. Because you know how I know it? Because first of all, the Cardinals said it. They said it. They said we knew if we gave them multiple looks, it would confuse them. And why? Because this offense is designed to take what the defense gives them. So you can show them looks, and you can dictate to the offense where you want their ball to go. Is it a coincidence that Dalton Schultz was one of our leading receivers? Nah. Why? Because if you want to take away Cooper, show double looks, show bracket looks, because the offense is then going to go away from him, which is why In this offense, Cooper was under targeted. And the problem is, in my opinion, is this also then bleeds over to your quarterback. When you have an indecisive offense, the guy who's running that offense also looks indecisive.
Yoga fire. Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
And when you double on top of that, the fact that our quarterback did not have the typical offseason. He did not. He was in rehab. So instead of being able to throw with his guys, right, like he's doing now, preparing, right? Last year, he was only focused on one thing, trying to get back on the field. To where, to me, he overworked himself. That's why he started to have a lat issue in training camp, because he was over exerting himself trying to come back. His whole focus was to come back. So what kind of offseason to perfect timing did he have? What did he have? He didn't. And with all of that, with that major controversy and that major tragedy, he still came back and broke the Dallas Cowboys touchdown franchise record. I'm not worried about Dak. I'm sorry. I'm not. I think Dak is going to go through this offseason. He going to work with his guys, and he going to come out even better. That's my honest to God opinion. That ain't even drinking Kool-Aid. That's logic. Because now he can actually have a full offseason. Dak will be fine. I ain't worried about that. Dak could have a bad year, and I still wouldn't worry about that. Because I've seen too much of his career to worry about him now. I'm worried about other stuff. All right. So, continuing on with the content, let's get some grades. So we talked about the distractions. Everybody gave it an F. All right. So now we got to grade the trades. So on the trades, what's your grade? Let me take this call. Boss Cowboy Sports.
Everybody. Hey, boss.
Hey, real quick, Coach Marv. Oh, Coach Marv just hung up. Man, what you doing, Coach? All right. But while he calling back, get y'all grades in. Get y'all grades in. I'm looking for the trades, F. Yeah. Everybody giving a trade to F. What's up, Coach?
Hey, man, I'm sorry I hung up, man. Yeah, man, I want to talk about that this all season, man.
Hold on real quick. I'm just getting these grades in, Coach. Give me 1 second. I'm getting these grades in. All right. I'm almost finished. Right. I just want to show these grades real quick. So far it's straight F's. Yeah, trades F. Yep. Yeah, it's F's. Yeah, it's F's down the it. I think even Durr gave this an F. It's everybody's giving the trades an F. God dog, is it 1D up in here? God dog, it is no. Listen, everybody. Hold on, Coach. I'm almost finished. God dog, somebody gave it an X, Y, and a Z. Oh my Lord. Ooh, the Reaper said trade worst in franchise history. Oh, Philly gave it a B-. You funny, man. All right, Coach, what you got?
I got to agree with everybody. It's an F for the off season. I think for the distractions, distraction part. I think it was been an F. But boss, I talked to you one time before when you were talking about we had the show about clickbait, man. Man, the Joneses are only focused on the star. They too much focused on the star. And I told you what the star means. Seen, talked about relentlessly. That's what they want.
See, talked about. What was that A? You forgot the A. You see, talked about.
Seen, talked about relentlessly.
Okay, there it is.
That's what they want. They want you to relentlessly talk about them all the time. They want to be seen. Fire. They want to be talked about.
Fire.
Relentlessly all the time. That's what they're so focused on. That's why they think out loud with trades. That's why they talk out loud with contract negotiations. I mean, that's when they talk out loud about who's coaching and what guys want to do. That's how they talk up everything. Every time they move, they got to have another press conference. They got to let everybody know. They got to feed their little core group of reporters and 103.5 stories so they can come out stories so they can set a narrative for the next decision they're about to make, which it makes it hard to do business in the NFL because a lot of people don't like to do business with people that talk so much.
Yeah.
And you know about business deals, boss. A lot of people don't like to deal with people who talk all the time because you can't get nothing done because too many people know what you're doing before you do it.
Yep. Sin City say that's that Kardashian SHIT coach. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why, that's their focus on the star.
Yeah.
When they say that the star, that's what they're focused on. That's why they named the new headquarters the Star. That's what they want. They want to be seen, talked about relentlessly. That's what they put on the so it hurts it hurts football things because as Jerry said, when you are like that and you're focused on that, then a lot of stuff comes out that you want to be seen and not be seen. So yes, this offseason, distraction wise, has been a very crazy year with distractions because last year, if we think about it on off season, we didn't have a lot of distractions. So this year, with a little bit of success with this past season, and that's where I think the Cowboy fans, as well as I think our organization, that's why we've been up and down for the last. Let's think about it, boss. Every year we have a great year. We have promise, then we go back, we go up, we go down, because of the fact we don't build on what we had before and stay behind the scenes until we get to where we want to go. We get a little bit of where we want to go, and then we jump out and start putting posters up like, "Oh man, we got it. It's all about us." And that can be a big distraction. So yes, I think this part of the thing has been distractions. And I agree with you wholehearted when you talk about the Dak Prescott thing. I think we get a little bit over-exaggerated with that. And I understand fans talk about the second half of the season. But tell me, in the second half, are y'all talking about the second half of the season, or you talking about big games in the second half of the season? Because that's where you only can focus. And then we had some offensive deficiency with our offensive coordinator, because the things that your quarterback does well, you have to continue to do those things or make the game easier for them. Is that way in basketball, baseball? You take superstars, you make them uncomfortable because you make them do things that they're not comfortable with. And it's your job as coaches to get that guy in his comfort zone. And that could be a Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, when the first half of the season showed that. When they were doing the things that made Dak well, he was an MVP candidate. When we started doing things that was Patrick Mahomes, like trying to throw the ball around the field every down, forgetting about the run game, he still was good, but he wasn't as great as he was when you get him in his comfort zone.
Right.
That's just point blank.
Yeah.
So, but yes, boss, use that. That's their focus on the star.
Yeah.
Seen talked about relentlessly.
Seen talked about relentlessly. Coach.
And something?
Coach, that's so
we
funny.
talking on this show now, right? In a few days, this same thing will be on 105, because every time you have a show and some topics keep pushing, next couple of days they hit on 105. 103, 105.3 somewhere about the same things that we talk about on this show. I wish fans to look at that, think about that. That's the same thing they're going to say. We focus on the star, seen talked about relentlessly, but still talking about football. We talk out loud, we think out loud, we move with music playing. We don't move soft, we don't move quietly. We do everything in full view. But the things we don't talk about, that's the one we need to focus on, Cowboys. If there hasn't been any word about Kellen Moore this whole offseason about him changing his offense or in getting his offense. And those are things we need to worry about, because those things they don't talk about are really some of the things that are really wrong.
Right.
Good talk about. I'll be listening to your next breakdown.
I got it. Hey, call back if they get scared. If they take all day, call back.
I know you left one. I know you left one thing out. Right.
What's that, Coach?
You had the thing you said. If it's a category, one of those categories, coaches changes. Even though we had some assistant coaches changes too in the off season. Because we signed some, we kept some, and we let some. We kept Quinn.
That's a good one.
And we had some coaching changes too with our assistant.
Good one. I added. Thank you, Coach. Coaching changes. That's off-season grade to give. All right, Coach. That was Coach Marv. He always bring that thunder. All right, I'm gonna add this. Y'all give me 1 second. Coaching changes. All right, so we also added to the list, per Coach Marv, coaching changes as an off-season to grade. We might not get to that one though, because it might be super long show. But I'm chilling. I'm chilling if y'all chilling. If y'all got to go to work, get off the show. But if you don't mind being a little bit late to work, stay on the show. If you kind of like me, where you'll stay up late and be on time, stay on the show.
Yoga fire.
All right. So far, it's been on. So we graded distractions. So distractions wasn't a clear F. Distractions was between an F and a D by most graders. Okay. The trades, that was overwhelming F. So far, two parts of our off season. Is a clear failure. But I think we getting ready to get to the most important part. Even with this is the last thing I'm gonna say about them trades, and then I'm gonna move on to what's more positive. All right, because the rest of it should be positive to me. We'll talk about it. It's gonna be probably hit and miss. It's gonna be some debate on some of the stuff we gonna talk about. But this is the worst part about those trades, right? In my opinion. This is the worst part about those trades. I asked myself this from B Bird, right? Because he said, boss, he said, don't let that good draft. He said this last week in the comments. He said, boss, don't let that good draft distract from the missed opportunities in this offseason. And I said, B Bird, I got you. I said, I promise you I'm doing a show on that. And this is that show. And I was thinking, right? Because in my opinion, I like the draft. I'm almost getting ready to say love the draft. The more and more I'm digesting the draft, the more I'm starting to actually get ready to put a ring on it. You know what I'm saying? Like married to it. Like I see the vision. I love it, right? But as good as that draft was, just imagine if we would have got an extra second for Will McClay, or maybe an extra third or fourth for Lyle Collins. Just try to imagine that, because this is one of the only shows to where we spend a lot of time talking about opportunity costs. Like a lot of shows never even think about that or discuss that. So opportunity cost is the cost of a decision made. And when you think about the cost of basically taking from Will McClay through basically talking too much, you took major assets away from this man. Just think about that. So, and that's something we'll never know. We would never know how it would have played out, but we all know there was a major opportunity cost of not getting Will McClay more picks through appropriate trades. All right, but I'm going to go to something more positive now, okay? So let's talk about, before we talk about, we might have to come back on that coaching, Coach Marr, because I want to prepare for that one. I want to really spend some time on that one. I don't want to be blind on that one. I want to do some more research on that. And that way it can be a real, real good show. And then the next time we talk about the offseason, because we're going to talk about it right before they start, you know, going to their football camps and all that kind of stuff. We go do this again. We go do a whole nother. We go do this all over again. This whole thing. All right. But what I think, let's talk about the signings. All right. Let's talk about the signings. I think the signings is something we should take a look at. And I have a feeling this grade is going to greatly differ between everybody. Right. So taking a look at some of our signings. Okay. So Jerron Kearse, we can start with him, right, as a big signing, right? Then we can talk about obviously Malik Hooker. If we graded those two, I'm pretty sure both of those will get real good grades right now. Then we can talk about Schultz, right, as a signing. Tank. I would say those are the main signings. But then you also have other names that we can mention, like Carlos Watkins, Jeremy Sprinkle, James Washington, Dante Fowler, right? So right now, let's go ahead and grade our signings. I would say, especially if you count Gregory as an opportunity miss, I would have to give our signings a C. A C. Now, obviously some signings in here that I love. I love Kearse signing. I love Malik Hooker mixed with Kearse because I think they both play off each other. I like Dalton Schultz. I don't love it. The main reason I don't love it is not because he didn't do his job well, because he did. He did his job well. It's the price that they paid. That's the thing that I can't stand about that signing. And what's sad is I warned about it, right? And it always feels bad when you see it coming and it happens anyway. That greatly hurts. Because people that have been rocking with Boss Cowboy Sports for a minute know that I already gave options for the tight end position. Like Hayden Hurst. You know? Let me show this one. This is a better view. Yeah. You know, who does a whole lot more than Dalton Schultz. He just does a lot more. And he went for $3 million. $3 million. And sadly, so did O.J. Howard. The same amount. $3 million. And so when I look at that signing, right, of Dalton Schultz, and I look at what we could have saved and what we could have done, that's the reason I don't like the Schultz signing. It's not because Schultz is not an asset. It's just that it doesn't feel right for you to penny pitch on playmakers, but then be wasteful on role players. I'm going to say that again. It doesn't make sense to penny pitch on playmakers, but then be wasteful on role players. And this is wasteful. It was wasteful. And then it's even more aggravating when you start looking around the league, right? And you look at the fact that Bobby Wagner cap hit is around $4 million. And Schultz right now is going to cost, because he signed his tag now, he's going to cost $10.9 million. You took a role-playing tight end and you paid him like he was a top 5 tight end. But he does his job well. But I always show this because this is what he does. I call him dump off king. That's what he is to our offense. It's reliable. It even moved the chains. But I also think that defenses want us to target Schultz. They want us to walk up and down the field as much as possible with Schultz. Because if you targeting Schultz, you're not targeting bigger playmakers. So since this offense is designed to aggressively take what the defense gives, then I just give you Schultz. But other than that, I do like a lot of the trades. I like Dante Fowler. I think he's going to work great with Quinn. I think he's going to have a restoration of his career. I think he go ball out. I think our pass rush again going to be our best group. I think it's finna be fantastic. So, all right, so let's talk about it. Let's grade it. Y'all heard my opinion on it. What's y'all opinion on it? What's your grades right now? I haven't said my grade. I think I did. I said a C. Yeah, I said a C. I would give us now. When I say signings, I'm not just talking about the bodies. All right, I'm not just talking about the bodies. I'm also talking about the opportunities, right, as well. So, what's y'all thoughts? I wanna see what y'all think. What's y'all grades on the signings? So I want to get y'all grades. I'm waiting on y'all to respond. So I see a C for right now. So somebody, they agree with me, and I definitely see C as well. So what's y'all grades? I'm giving us in terms of our signings, because I think we could have did much better. I think we could have did much better. And then Philly. Oh man. Oh man, we got Philly fans up in here. But I'm gonna show you grade, bro, because you participating. I'll show you grade. C, they're unproven. I got you. Yeah, Johnny, you still gotta grade it. Johnny, you can't do that. Johnny say, I'm going to wait till after preseason to grade something. Now grade it now. Because we gonna do it before and after. Listen, nobody gonna hold you hostage to this, big dog. You know what I'm saying? This is just saying, what do you do in terms of your grade on paper? There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? So put it down. What's your initial thoughts? And if you're wrong, just eat crow. And I ate crow. I do it all the time, man. When I'm wrong, shoot. I'm gonna do another show on me eating crow. So y'all get ready for that one. Big Sarge gave us a B- on the signings. Roshan George gave us a C. Brian gave us a B. DP gave us a D. Yeah. I knew these grades was going to range. I knew it was going to be a range. I just knew it because everybody go see these signings different, and that's okay. C, because we signed our guys, all role players except Hooker and Curse. Exactly. This was our guys. It was too much our guys, too. It was too much our guys. It was too much. We're going to say no to Bobby Wagner because Schultz, our guy, is that important. Yeah, it was just too much our guys. But Durr with the F. Oh my God. Durr, you might have to call back in. I want to hear why. My boy Philly Notion, what's up, my dog? Philly Notion in the building, man. Cool dude. Your team just garbage. But he said D+, my guy. I don't believe you. You troll too much, big dog. My boy John said, boss, what's your opinion on Fowler? You think an upgrade to Gregory? Potentially, yeah. Potentially an upgrade to Gregory. Yes. He's a super Marshalls. And everybody should know by now what I mean when I say that. But we got a lot of new people, so I'm explaining it. So Marshalls is a department store where your high-end stores usually unload their inventory, right? And you can get some good stuff out of Marshalls. You can come out if you shop right with a Neiman Marcus look, but with a, good price. So I call those guys Marshalls because they're former greats. So he's a former first rounder. He also had some big years. He also had and earned a big contract. So it's some start in him. But, just like Atlanta and they dysfunctions had Dan Quinn run out of town. Now he's restored. I think that happens sometimes when you get these guys that was former greats, Marshalls guys. So it's a strong possibility that he's going to be restored back to his former greatness, especially when you look at his coaches, right? And we talked about this before, so I'm going to highlight it again because one of the guys that obviously I had doubts on that I'm very high on this year is Aiden Dirty. So, and I looked at the job he did when the defensive line house was burning down, and he kept that thing afloat, and more than afloat, they played real good under his tutelage. And then on top of that, you also obviously have Dan Quinn, who's obviously now being considered a defensive line guru to a degree, especially by Dallas fans. He's coming into a good house. My boy Law always talk about you don't look at players individually, you look at them from the soul, the sum of all the parts. Nobody say that better than Law. That's one of the best statements out there on the independent networks. It's the sum of all the parts. And so Dante coming in to the sum of Aiden Dirty mixed with Dan Quinn, that's a good equation for a restoration of greatness. So just to answer that question. So all the grades came in, and the signing grades, I would say, ranged to about a C or a D. Woo. So let's think about it. So far we got, okay, let me just show it. I'm gonna show it. So distractions. F, that was y'all grade. F, D. I would say F and D was y'all grade. I want to give it a Z. Murders, babies, calling out your head coach, offering your D coordinator the job publicly. Bro, it was a mess this offseason. It was a total mess. Cheerleading scandals, paying off cheerleaders. Man. So, F. Then the trades got a unanimous F. The signings, D. C is about y'all average. So far, we getting ready to get kicked out of college.
Yoga fire.
Can I say that again? So far, offseason is getting ready to get kicked out of college. Yeah, man. Ooh. So we got one thing left to save us, dog. How did we draft? All right. FFD. Dog, we gotta have an A or we're out of college, dog. All right. So before y'all get y'all grades, don't grade yet. No grades. Don't put no grades yet. Y'all gotta hear the case. No grade. Don't grade. I said don't start. Let me set the parameters first. All right. Don't grade, man. Y'all don't start the grades. Don't start the grades. All right, let's set the parameters first, because this is what we do here at Boss Cowboy Sports. We want to be very clear on the parameters. That way, we are under the same expectations. So we did a show and we talked about the different type of drafting philosophies. Now, you okay, Lyle? He say too late. Sorry, you good, man? You good? Don't worry about it. But we talked about the different type of, when we was doing a lot of simulators, we was talking about the different type of drafting philosophies that you can go into a draft with, right? So one of them was offensive ego. That was a category that we created because we were saying there's a possibility that the Dallas Cowboys could be going into this draft trying to really prove that they was right about Amari Cooper. And with an assumption like that, they was going to target offense very aggressively. All right, so we also talked about building the defense. And then traditional BPA was a category, loading up on picks, need, stopping the run, dogs, and 30 visits. So first, before we grade the draft, the first thing I want to do is I want to define what I think we did, and then let's grade it. In my opinion, I think it was a combination of three things that we already laid out on this channel. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We had 8 potential categories, but I think it was 3 that was the actual strategy of the Dallas Cowboys. I think it was need, because like B Bird said, we got rid of receiver, we got a receiver. We let a guard go, we got a guard / tackle. We lost an edge, we gained multiple edges, right? So, or one in a draft, right? So clear need, but it was also clear 30 visit. It was very clear 30 visit. It was also clear dogs. It was 3 things that we assumed could happen in the draft. So put those 3 together. Now that we know what we did, now let's grade. Because if you coming in here and you wanted us to go traditional BPA, you automatically don't like our draft. But if you looking at, did we take care of our needs, and did we take care of our needs with likely good players, your grade will be higher, because that's the standard of what we did. Yeah, good comment, Chris. He said clear senior bowlers. Yes, absolutely. Very fantastic comment right here. I got to show this. Clear senior bowlers. Yeah. And not only clear senior bowlers, clear standout senior bowlers, right? Guys who really stood out, not kind of stood out. We got the guys who showed up. Ferguson showed up in the Senior Bowl. So let me pull up this draft list. Give me a second. Y'all be patient real quick. Sometimes you got to build a plane, brother. All right. Man, while I'm doing this, y'all give me a second. I'm pulling this up, man. Let me turn on some music real quick while I'm pulling up this. Give me a second. Give me a second. Turn the music back down. All right, cool. All right, so I got the list up. All right, so here we go. All right, so looking at our draft. All right, we got to get an A or B plus, or we kicked out of offseason college. So we got Tyler Smith, right? And then we got Sam Williams, Jalen Tolbert, Jake Ferguson, Matt, Deron, Damon Clark, John Ridgway, Devin Harper. All right, I'm ready to grade. So, because I'm looking at this as a need graph, I'm giving us an A minus. And we barely not gonna get flunked out of school. Yeah, I'm giving us an A minus. All right, mainly because I feel like we got some fantastic people that can come support us on need. I think we took care of our needs. I think it was mostly upgrades outside of Jalen Tolbert. Let me say that again. Listen to me, y'all. I think it was mostly upgrades except for Jalen Tolbert. So just ask yourself, Tyler Smith, just hear me out. Cause y'all already grading, cause I asked y'all to grade. I should have made my case first, but the grades are already coming in. But Tyler Smith, everybody talked about his holding, but most people didn't talk about how he was the #1 run blocker in the American Atlantic history, in the history of the entire conference. One of the top run grades in the country. So moving him to left guard, is that an upgrade over Connor Williams or a downgrade? Upgrade. Sam Williams, is he an potential upgrade to Randy Gregory? Year one, I would say no. But he could be year one. You know why? Remember, because of Tank. Yeah, because of Tank and because of Micah Parsons, he gonna be getting the majority one-on-ones. Yeah. So if anybody is poised to set it off, it's Sam Williams. The guy who gonna be coming in with pretty big boy shoes out the gate, who gotta be a natural playmaker, is Jalen, Mr. Tolbert. But this is the good thing. He's not gonna have as much pressure. Because when Philly drafted D. Smith, he came in to be what I called a hero, where they was looking for him to be the #1 out the gate. That's major pressure, and most receivers fold under that pressure. I actually did a massive study on that myself, where I went back to the 2012 draft. I went back 10 years and I looked at every first round receiver. The ones who went to teams to where they had to be the #1 out the gate, the bust rate was 95%. Because they couldn't handle the pressure out the gate. But receivers that came in like CeeDee Lamb, where they was the #2, and then after a couple of years became the #1, their success rate was 95%. So the failure rate of you coming in to be a hero was 95%. But your success rate, if you came in as the #2 and then became the #1, was 95%. So we are transitioning Jalen in the right way. We having him coming in without the pressure of being a number one. So just like CeeDee Lamb, when CeeDee Lamb came in, he didn't have the pressure of being a number one because Amari was taking that pressure off of him. And it allowed him to cut his teeth. It allowed him to cut his teeth on number 2s and number 3 corners, nickelbacks. And that develops your confidence. And eventually when you assume the mantle, likely you're ready. You know? And it's a lot of teams, if you just look at history. If you look at history, it's a lot of teams that's very successfully implemented this. I think the best at it by far is Pittsburgh. They've been doing it for years. If you look at their history, they've been doing this transitioning in receivers, number 2s, then becoming number 1s. They've been doing that since the 80s. After them, Green Bay is very good at it. The Colts is good at it. And you know who else is low-key good at it? Atlanta. Just look at their history. Roddy White, right? He was the number 1. They moved up to get Julio. But Julio, when he came in, he was the number 2. Roddy White was the number 1. Then Roddy White got old, and guess who assumed the new number 1 position? Julio. So then Julio started to get older. What did they do? They went and got Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley was the number 2. Julio was the number 1, just like White. And then Julio started getting old. What happened? Shipped him on. Ridley became the new number 1. Then they didn't stop. They started sitting and writing on the wall that Calvin Ridley could be getting ready to move on. So what did they do? They got them a dual weapon in Cal Pitts, and they let him start the season as the number 2, and going into next year and the year after that, he's going to likely now be their number 1 target. And the Dallas Cowboys had major success doing this, transitioning guys in the right way. It happened with Dez, because when Dez first came, he wasn't the number 1 out the gate. It was Miles Austin. And then they let him cut his teeth. They moved on from Miles Austin, and then Dez assumed the number 1 position. That's what's getting ready to happen with CeeDee Lamb, y'all. And the success rate says that it's going to work. So all of that to say, that's why I'm giving that draft an A-. Because from my research, it lines up to everything that I wanted, especially insurance for linebacker and protecting the queen. Everybody know that I stood on a table saying basically by myself that linebacker was our top need. And the way that they drafted showed that. They got Damon Clark, they got Sam Williams, they got all kind of linebackers to shore up and make sure Micah Parsons go play free. So from a draft strategy, absolutely A-. Absolutely. Yeah. And Jalen Tolbert is the one guy that I gotta wait and see. But I feel good about him. If he come out and he killing from the slot, or even just killing besides CeeDee Lamb, it's an A+ draft. I'm gonna take some calls. We got the call line open. If y'all can call in, y'all know me. Hold on real quick. Let me get rid of that. Boom. All right, Boss Cowboy Sports.
Ball, it's
Yo.
Coach Marv again, man.
Yeah. What's up, Coach?
I want you to see if you go with me on this draft strategy.
Okay.
Now, and I'm talking to you and talking to Cowboy fans.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that are upset about the draft. If you look at, and I was thinking about this when I saw the draft board that the Cowboys had.
Yeah.
The Cowboys believed that they had two positions that they felt that they needed starters at. Frontline guys. Right? Mm-hmm. And those two positions, and I thought we thought they needed a third one, but they thought they needed an edge rusher and they needed a guard.
Yeah.
If you really look at it, those are the two places that they needed starters. Every other position on the field, they had their starters already there. There's no other place that they can say that they needed. They had their tackles. They had their other guard. They felt good about their center. I'm just saying what they felt good about their center, which I feel good about their center with a better guard beside it.
Me too.
They needed those two positions. That's why they ranked the edge rusher from Oregon as their top dog. They thought that they needed a third wide receiver. They didn't think they needed a number 2 wide receiver because they signed Gallup.
Right.
Even though he's not going to be there, but they already knew he would be coming back. They needed to place Cedric Wilson.
Yeah.
So they got their third wide receiver, which potentially could be played number 2 for a particular time. They got that guy.
Right.
Then we said that the glaring need was linebacker, which they have showed in not only in the draft as well as free agent pickups about they're trying to fortify themselves at the linebacker positions because the two guys that they signed, Luke Gifford and LVE, were on 1-year contracts because before you go in the draft, you want to have your least all your starters. If you had to play without the draft, you got your players.
Right.
So they went in that. So this draft for the Cowboy fans for a 12-5 team that was a young football team was a stockpile of guys that's going to build the roster and build our depth with quality guys that, just like you said, that are going to eventually be starters. But you not only going to ask them now to make big plays, but on a limited basis because we know they're rookies. You brought a tight end in to be your second tight end. You brought a defensive end, which he's going to go into the group. He might not be your number 1 guy, but he will be in a rotation. So the Cowboys was not like Philadelphia's draft or Washington's draft where they were looking for multiple starters. We weren't looking for starters because we were happy with the starters that we had. We just wanted to build the depth and the competition so these guys can come in, and if they contribute on a limited basis, that's a plus for us. Yeah. We weren't looking for starters. Every need that we drafted, except for 2. 1 was the guard. We had to draft a guy that we knew we were going to play a guard because we didn't have one. But other than that, we were picking the best player to build our roster. That's why we picked the multiple positions, because they're building the depth that they had on this team so they can survive the 17-week grind. That's why it's an A+. That's why it's an A draft to me also.
Yeah,
because we did exactly
you give me an A?
We weren't drafting starters. We didn't go out and need to get no number 1 wide receiver. For what? We got one.
Right. Exactly. Right.
I mean, we didn't have to go get no starting offensive tackle because we knew that these tackles can play. But yes, we have to get. Why we get a brand new start left tackle? They brought Tyron, the Smith guy, the first round pick, to play guard. Maybe eventually play tackle when Tyron Smith steps down.
Right.
But they brought him in to play guard. they had two focuses in this draft. They had a focus at defensive end because they lost Randy Gregory, and guard because they wanted to place the guard anyway. That's what they came in there saying, they feel that their guard will replace their center because they like even Fournier playing center. So the Cowboys did a good job of getting guys that will eventually may be starters in this league and will help us greatly this year. But the pressure won't be on them to be superstars and all rookie guys.
Right.
Which makes it better for rookies to be able to perform.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
That's why I give it an A. That's exactly
that's what they did. Exactly what they weren't looking for. So when people out there think about, man, all these guys this guy was on the board, he was the best player available, but you have a starter already. If you feel good about this starter that got you to 12-5, you are enhancing your team by building depth with quality guys to make plays and come in and to keep the thing going. So I think that's what they did. That's why the draft board looked the way it looked. I wonder why they had the guy from Oregon on the north. But I said, you know something? That's what they won. They won the edge rush.
Yeah.
They lost Gregory.
Yeah, and it's even though I like Fowler, Coach, I like Fowler. I think I'm
Fowler's gonna be. I think Fowler's gonna.
Hold on, real quick, Coach.
For his role,
I think Dan Quinn was protecting his 4-3 under package. You see what I'm saying? And for those who don't know what we're talking about, that 4-3 under is where you go have basically 3 pass rushers. And last year that 4-3 under was Gregory, Parsons, and Tank. So they want to make sure that they was gonna be able to duplicate that, even if they double dipped on it. And it makes sense. That's right. It makes sense that because you can't stop, because somebody go come free. If all 3 getting after you, somebody coming free.
And he's gonna use Fowler. He's gonna use that defensive end on the other side,
right,
as well as on both sides.
Right.
Because he's going to utilize them, as I was saying about other players. He's going to utilize Fowler where Fowler does well. And he's going to put him in that situation over and over and over again so he won't fail. When you start making players do other stuff that they don't do well, you are putting them in an environment to fail. So you got a collection of guys, you find out what they do well, and you put them in position to do that well, and they got a lot of depth on that defensive line so they can match up and they can get what they need out of every position to do well. Ridgeway was a guy to come in. We had defensive tackles, but now he's going to come in, no pressure on him, limited probably 15 to 20 snaps, and you're going to get the best out of him. But if you put him out there, we weren't looking for a starter. We were looking to add to the enhance to what we had for a 12-5 team. And that was the smartest thing that I think the Cowboys have done. But that's Will McClay. That's right. All Will McClay.
That's all Will. Mm-hmm.
That's it. He understands that. That's why he said in this thing, we're trying to get guys in for competition so we can build a depth on this team. He said something the other day. He said, to get to a 17-game season, you need about 70 players, 71 players. And that's what they're trying to build. They're trying to build 70 quality guys that they can keep on this roster so if they have some injuries, they can be able to weather the storm.
Right. Yeah. Hey.
So that's why it's an A.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people out there going to be like, oh, we should have got this. Look at the position they're talking about. If they think about it, did we have a starter in that position that played well last year? Why are we trying to draft another guy? What are we going to do about that other guy?
Yeah. We'll see, Coach.
All right, man.
All right, Coach. That was Coach Marv, man, coming in with some of that heat as usual. All right, so yeah, so y'all already graded, but if y'all came in late, I see it's about 60 new people watching. For y'all that's came in late, I do say, because it's common to forget, when you come in, hit that like. Or if you've been watching and you forgot to hit that like, go ahead and hit that like right now. Go ahead and do that. And if you ain't share, go ahead and also share right now. I still got the call lines open. So, oh, dang, there we go. Boss Cowboy Sports.
What up, Boss Cowboy?
What's up, Dur? Man, your grades went down, man.
Hey,
What's going on with you?
Back because you were talking about the draft, and I had some other thoughts since you were talking about the draft picks and stuff.
What you got?
Now, I seen a footage of Big Game James on his channel earlier today. And there's one I don't know if you probably do know because you talk to Big Game James sometimes. Harmon.
What about
linebacker?
Yeah.
Harmon? Yeah. He's supposed to be really good too. You think he might be able to help us a little bit, or what round did you have him? That's my question too. First,
I didn't even have him in the Boss Cowboy Guide, so to be honest with you, I still got to do my homework, and I haven't even watched Big Game James' video because I don't want to be influenced by it. I want to first do my research and then I give my opinion. I'm not even up to most of the undrafted free agents. I'm right now trying to make sure I get the guys that we drafted first. But I'm up by next week, likely even by Wednesday or Thursday. I should have a lot of videos on all those guys, and my opinions on those guys.
You know about Alec Lindstrom, right?
No, I don't.
No? Okay. That's another undrafted, like he plays center and guard.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw him.
Flexibility.
Yeah, very quick, very athletic, but I didn't do my film work on him yet. So I got to catch up.
Right. All right. But what I was going to say, to expound on what Coach was saying about the draft picks, I mean, a reason I gave it a B+, and I said it could turn into an A, but that's because, see, what Quinn does well, like he did last year, he understands what his players do well, okay? And like Coach was saying, Quinn puts his players in a position to where he knows that they're not going to fail, that they're going to do well. That they're gonna do what he needs them to do, where he puts them, so they don't fail. Okay, and that's where I understand where Will McClay, when he drafts, he keeps in mind, like Coach was saying, that they drafted not for just the skilled players, but to help, keep the rotation going, add more depth, keep the guys fresh, keep your queen protected, as you would say. You know what I mean? And that's why I say that it can turn into an A, because Quinn understands his defense and what he wants this defense to be. And if after 7 or 8 games, Damone can play this year, that only adds to it. And then we don't even know what Jabril Cox is going to do or what he can possibly be. So you have another additive to that, along with the other linebackers that we have, okay, that can be role players on this defense and on this team, And where I would say that on one draft pick that I am impressed with, I'm impressed with D. Williams and Jalen Tolbert the most, because they've shown in college footage and they have the want to and the desire and the passion to be great and to study and to work hard and do the things they need to do to be a contributor to this team and help this team win, and to help Dak be at his best, because until Gallup gets back, Jalen knows that he has to be at his best, okay? Because you can't just depend on Lamb and James Washington and the 2 tight ends. You're going to have to depend on all the rest along with it. So that's why I agree with Coach and you that this draft was a very good draft, but we have to do the things necessary for it to become an A. But for me, it's a B+ because they helped the team all the way around, not just on the offensive line, but receiver, linebackers, defensive end, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Well said.
So I want to see what your thoughts are on it, because that's how I'm thinking. You know, they understand what their team needed at that point in time. They don't need. I'm not saying they don't need immediate starters, but they understand what they needed on the offensive line as far as replacing the guard goes, and as far as maybe having a better center, or having somebody that, if, say, Tyler, for some odd reason, say something happens to him and he happens to get hurt or he misses a few games. You have somebody that can do what needs to be done as far as center goes and whatnot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we're pigeonholed into one thing.
Right. All right. Well, let me get my response to that, Durr.
All right. Thank you, my guy. I just wanted to give you some more love, boss. Have a great day, okay?
You too, man. All right, so to respond to Durr's comment, he added a B+ with the possibility of going to an A based on Dan Quinn. I can see that. Except what I'm doing is I'm not waiting on it. That's the only reason I'm giving it an A now versus not a B, is I already trust Dan Quinn and I trust Aiden Dirty based on what they did last year, because they was up against some hard times and they came out with our guys balling. Like, just think about it. Like, just think about how we was all feeling when Tank went down. Just think about it. Just really think about the panic that was happening. It was epic panic when everybody, who we go sign? We need to go sign. Everybody went to the free agent market. Everybody. When Tank went down after game 1 with that foot injury, everybody was freaking out. Man, by the time Tank came back, Aiden and Dan Quinn had them boys balling to where boys was then talking stupid like we didn't need Tank no more. We went from panicking to cocky because they had them boys balling, from Ghosting to obviously Parsons. All of them boys that was coming on that defensive line, every one of them was balling. Cox, until he hit his rookie wall around week 8. But them boys was all balling, big dog. So that's why I'm giving the A now. If they had people balling that we thought wasn't gonna even make the team, like, am I the only one that thought Carlos Watkins wasn't gonna even make the team? No. But Carlos Watkins was okay. He was decent. And his effort was fantastic, which goes a lot to say that them coaches, yeah. So if they had Carlos Watkins balling, you telling me they not finna have Sam Williams balling? That 4.4 speed? And see, this is the thing. We are so spoiled. We forgot how elite defensive ends that run 4.4s are. We forgot because we got one that run a 4.3.
Yoga fire.
Let me say that again. We forgot how freakish 4.4 speed is at 260. That's because we got one that run a 4.3.
Yoga fire.
See, Parsons came in such a freak that we forgot what a other freak looked like. That's freakish, y'all. All right. So now let's do this. Let's grade the whole offseason. Let's put it all together. All right. So we talked about it all now. So we talked about distractions. We talked about the trades. We talked about the signings. We talked about the draft. So to repeat, for those who might be in here late, distractions was an F. But this is the key about distractions. Distractions don't play on Sunday. Let me say that again. Distractions don't play on Sunday. So even though all of us probably gave them low grades, that has nothing to do with play. Well, it does have something to do with play. It has something to do with morale, which can then affect play. But it doesn't actually play. I just want to say that. So then signings. Let's just put it all together. What's your overall grade? So my overall grade of this offseason, if I'm being very measured, I'm going to say overall, a D. I'm going to give it a D. I think it could have been it easily could have been an A. It could have easily been an A. What would have made it an A to me would have been keeping Amari, letting Dalton Schultz go to keep that money, replacing him with Hayden Hurst, which would have gave you a more dynamic tight end at a cheaper price. And then I think they should have got O.J. Howard for insurance, which would have made us go into the draft with no tight end as a need at all. We'd have been overstocked. And then obviously if we would have got the right trade value, we would have gave Will McClay an additional 2 picks, premium picks in this draft. Yeah. So even though I get a draft at A, that A doesn't cover the ball drops that happened in this offseason, because it was some big ones. Now, can we overcome it? Yeah. Yeah, we can overcome it. Can we have a fantastic season? Absolutely. But could we have been overwhelmingly the favorites? Yes. Because Bobby Wagner with a cap hit this year of $4 million versus a tag of Schultz at $10 million does not add up. But the draft did put us in a better place. And I think that cologne that draft put on is going to cover some of the boo-boo smell. Because that's what some of us do. Some of us don't take baths. We just get up in the morning, we throw on some cologne like that's going to cover up that previous day boo-boo you just had. You ain't even wipe good and you out here trying to throw on cologne like it's going to cover it up. Nah, it ain't. Yeah. But that's what this draft is. The draft was the cologne. You know? But we still smell. Because everybody was honest. It was distractions, F. Trades, F. Signings, mostly C. And then the draft from most of us was a B. I gave it an A. Sorry, y'all. That don't add up to an A offseason. But that's where we are right now. And the offseason not over. It's not over. It's still, so they can still make some, I guess, they can still do some things. But as of now, it's about 95% over. And I would have to give us currently right now a D. So for the rest of y'all, if you ain't voted, let's get these votes in. I want to see these because we go come back to these in a future show. And we go talk about this likely during the season. We go talk about this very show likely around mid-season. We go come back and we go say, okay, there was a time, it was May 8th, Sunday, and all of us gave our opinions. How do we feel mid-season based on what the team is doing? But I appreciate y'all honesty. So I see no more grades come in. I don't think y'all grading anymore. Let me see if it's any calls coming in. Nope, no calls. All right. So since ain't nobody calling, ain't nobody grading, y'all keep on the lookout for our next videos because we still gonna be breaking down players and we still got some more content that we got to get to. And I likely won't be doing any videos tomorrow because that's when the funeral is and it's out of town. So y'all likely won't see me until the final word. But if I got enough time in between and I can work, because I might be able to do some work because I'm not going to be driving. My friend going to be driving. So down in Houston to where the funeral is tomorrow morning. I'm likely going to be able to knock out some content and some videos. So y'all still might get it. So either way, keep your notifications on. And before y'all leave, make sure y'all like and subscribe if you haven't yet to Boss Cowboy Sports because we got a lot of content that's coming. We got a lot of upgrades that's coming. My boy Sin City said, that hat fly boss, I need that, my guy. Yeah, it's a special place in Dallas, bro, that sell these hats. It's only one place that sell these hats. So I actually saw a kid wearing it. I was like, man, where you get that hat? He was like, man, I got it from, I forgot the name. It was just a hotel. And I was like, I went in there and bought it. I was like, yeah, I had to go get it, man. That Big D. I was like, yeah, man, I had to get that. So anyway, appreciate that, man. So, but anyway, y'all stay up, man. It's Boss Cowboy Sports, man. Y'all keep y'all notifications on, man.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Boss Cowboy Sports.